Happy solstice, happy winter solstice, everyone. Happy return of the light. Today we are doing the reading for this winter solstice 2020, and welcome. I'm glad you're here. Creator, this is your daughter Titania, and I am about to do a reading for your highest and greatest benefit, the benefit of myself, of everyone listening to this reading, and indeed of the planet at large. My intention is to be a clear channel for the information that we most need to receive right now, and to provide that in a manner that will be easily and effortlessly heard, understood, and integrated for our collective highest and greatest benefit, and the benefit of anyone whose life we touch, including the life of this planet. I call upon my higher self and the higher selves of all those listening, now and in the future, to be present. I also invite the overlighting angel of communication to ensure that this reading happens in the highest and best way possible. Again, for the highest and greatest good of all concerned. I'd also at this time like to invite the four archangels to come and hold the four directions around us, creating a sacred container of light, of love, of wisdom, of healing, of transformation, of empowerment, of indeed whatever is in our collective hearts and minds at this time. Thank you, Raphael, for coming to hold the East. Thank you, Michael, for holding the South. Thank you, Gabriel, for holding the West, and thank you, Uriel, for holding the North. I'm so grateful you are here. We set the tone for ease, for clarity, for flow, for wisdom, for empowerment, for healing, for transformation. Indeed, for anything that is in our collective heart and mind at this time, we set the tone for that to come through with ease and upliftment. And anything that doesn't match these frequencies is welcome to go now. And so here we go. I thought we'd do a body, mind, spirit, and heart reading today. What do we need to know collectively? And before I get going, I just wanted to mention I have this beautiful candle in honor of the solstice, the winter solstice. It's a sacred ritual candle that a good friend of mine made. I'll be putting the link and the details below. But it has wonderful sacred plants and sacred bits and bobs that are, that's not a very nice way of putting it, but sacred ingredients that have been combined with intention to make a ritual candle. And I'm so grateful to have it to honor this special occasion of the winter solstice. So thank you, Laura. Okay, my friends, body, mind, heart, and spirit. What do we need to know about the energies of this winter solstice? How do we best interact with them? How do we best become all that we need to be at our best with each other and with this planet? Body, mind, heart, and spirit. Okay, so starting with the body, we have the Nine of Hearts and the card of fulfillment. So this is a lovely card, and it's about dropping into our bodies, being in them in a good way, being fulfilled in our physical experience. The first flash that came to me is the feeling of being with your loved ones, sharing a beautiful meal, celebrating the holidays, that feeling of just pleasant comfort in one's own skin. And this happens for us in different ways. Some of us like to go and do some vigorous exercise, and then we just kind of drop into our bodies while we're doing that, and afterwards we feel so good because the endorphin rush. It can mean doing that yoga. It can mean going for a walk. It can mean, again, preparing something with love and sharing it with those we care about, eating beautiful things. For all of us, we have different ways of accessing this feeling of fulfillment in our body. Some people like to take a beautiful hot bath with Epsom salts and essential oils. Those self-nourishing, self-care aspects, those things that we can do, that we know we love, that we know our body loves and appreciates and feels so good for. Having that green smoothie, all of the things that make you feel good in your body. That's what this is about. This is about caring for yourself, caring for that beautiful body that is the physical aspect of you on this planet at this time. Taking good care of it, taking it for walks, meditating it, dancing it, feeding it, nourishing it, and allowing it to spend time in the company of those that you love so that your heart is open and you feel well-being, deep well-being. So this is the card of the physical. Going forward into this time of winter. This starts today with the winter solstice. Of course, it's the days are getting longer now. The light is returning, thank goodness, for us here in the Northern Hemisphere. And so what this is encouraging us to focus on the bodily level is loving our bodies, caring for our bodies, and just experiencing the pleasure and the satisfaction and the fulfillment of being a powerful co-creator in our body, taking care of ourselves and enjoying that we do that for ourselves, savoring that we make those good choices, savoring that we have the ability and the capacity to do that, and just being kind and loving with ourselves in every moment. Body and mind. Creative opportunity. So the name of this card, it's the Three of Wands, is opportunity. We have the three cherubim here, and they're receiving wonderful inspiration coming in, these golden rays of inspiration blooming, these gorgeous red flowers. They look a little bit like poinsettias. So we have these cherubim who are dancing around and playing with this incoming radiant energy. And this is in the level of the mind. The mind, giving it creative inspiration, creative possibility, lighting that creative spark. And again, because it's the mind, what does the mind need to be inspired and interested and engaged? And you know that piece, and we've talked about it in these recordings before, is that aspect of enthusiasm. When we feel excited, inspired, enthusiastic, we know we're in alignment with our heart's path, with our reason for being here on the planet. That's our indicator that we're lined up with the God force flowing through us. So in this instance, we have these cards of opportunity, of radiant creative interaction, inspiration in the area of the mind. So what can you do to treat your mind, to inspire it, enliven it? Give it an opportunity to dwell on uplifting and affirming and positive content. Collectively, we have a responsibility not only to ourselves to take care of ourselves, but to be wise about what we're putting in our consciousness, because we are part of the collective, and as a result, what we engage with resonates out into the greater field. And so when we give our energy and our attention to those things that light us up and inspire us and fire us, we're creating that juicy energy, that inspiring energy, and putting that out into that collective field that we're all part of. And this is what this card is indicating, is on the mental level, on the mind, engage with things that bring you to life, that inspire you, that enliven you. Because it's good not only for you, but for all of us. Okay. Heart. Queen of Pentacles. Very interesting. Okay, so the Queen of Pentacles. This is a very practical person. astrological signs that are associated with Pentacles, which is the earth element, or Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And they tend to be more practical, more earthy, more grounded, more not very emotional. Somebody, I was listening to an astrology recently, and they were describing how a Taurus, for instance, has a narrower band of emotional engagement, for instance, than a Scorpio does. And I thought, oh, isn't that interesting? And so this is very curious because, of course, we have this card, the Queen of Pentacles, showing up in the position of the heart. What does our heart need to know about this winter solstice, or this time of winter, and what can we do to make best use of this energy? And it certainly, with this card here, it certainly isn't about indulging and being wallowing in feeling. This is about being practical on the emotional level and being masterful of the material realm from a heart space. So making choices that are practical, grounded, and useful, helpful, that move not only you forward, but those around you forward. Maybe being a clearing for a grounded perspective. It seems that there's even greater polarity than there was in terms of perspectives on this situation with the COVID and other topics. And that intensity of polarity really isn't serving us. That finding ways to bridge that, finding ways to see wisdom and truth and transcend the duality is what this card is speaking to me. This is the Queen of Pentacles. She represents the maturation of her suit. She understands the material realm. She's very grounded. She's very practical, and she gets things done. And this is the energy we need to apply to the heart. Grounded, practical, getting things done, not getting overly emotional or overly attached to our emotions or our feelings, but being, again, practical, kind, wise, level, and seeking to find compassion and kindness in our interactions with others, and sticking to that, choosing to stick with that, being very deliberate about it, very practical about it. So that's what we need to know on the heart level for the next little while with this solstice energy. We're really being called upon not to be in a triggered reactive state, but to take a deep breath, take a step back. And I don't know if anybody out there, I'm sure many of you are familiar with the work of Byron Katie, but this is sort of the energy of the work of Byron Katie, this very practical, asking yourself, if you're in an emotional state, some very grounded questions to bring you back into your body, bring you back into your now, so that one is not responding from that reactive state, but rather from a very peaceful, balanced, grounded perspective. Okay, so that is the heart. And spirit. We have the world. Last card of the major arcana. The world is the life, the dancer with life. It's like the culmination of the journey of the spirit, from the Fool all the way through. And the world is about us understanding that we are one with all life everywhere. We are all unique aspects of that one life, having a unique expression or experience of that, of beingness, but that ultimately we are all connected. And so from the spirit perspective, to remember this, the oneness, remember that we are dancing and co-creating with life, and that everyone else is doing that same thing. They are dancing and co-creating with life. And we can choose to bring that higher, wiser, broader perspective to our each and every moment, everything that we do. We can bless it with our awareness that we are one of the many. That is we are a unique expression of the one. It's so perfect that this card is here. And I can't get over it. That's so fun. Okay, so we are all one, our beautiful planet, holding our beautiful planet in a loving way. being kind, making good choices, listening into our hearts, being kind with each other, being compassionate, understanding that there is a big opportunity for us right now to be in this loving, kind, intentional space. Where are you putting your attention? Really important. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. What are you wanting to create with your attention and your focus? A friend of mine and I have been talking about various conspiracy conversations, various topics, also about the general narratives that are going on right now and the conflict between the different perspectives. And one of the things that she keeps returning to, which I'm finding so helpful, is this idea of what is it that we want to feed. I'm sure some of you have heard the story about the elder who counsels the young man, a native elder who counsels a young man and says, you have you have two wolves inside you, the good one and the bad one. Which one will you feed? And this is what this card is talking about. What are you feeding your consciousness? What are you feeding your mind? What are you feeding your heart and your spirit? Because we are all one, and we are co-creating this life right here, right now. So staying practical and clear and kind and compassionate and grounded is really important right now. We need to vision the future that we want, not give a lot of energy to negative agendas or negative stories that will leave us feeling like we're victims and that we're being oppressed. It's very important right now that we realize that we are sovereign beings, that we have choice where we're putting our attention, where we're putting our energy, and what do we want to create with life. We want to create beauty, health, well-being, comfort. We want to see each other, love each other, support each other into being the best that we can be. And by following this, it's pretty clear for the next little while, taking care of our physical bodies, finding that comfort and that fulfillment and that well-being and satisfaction in our bodies through nourishment, through exercise, through meditation, through being in our bodies, not out of our bodies. It's another really important thing right now. Drop into your body. Make friends with your body. Be in your body now. You find yourself in your head someplace, take a deep breath, bring yourself back. We need to be embodied right now. This is why we're in our physical bodies. If we didn't need to be in our bodies, we wouldn't have them. So be in your body and do what you can to care for this beautiful apparatus that's carrying you around. I mean, I shouldn't say that apparatus. It sounds so mechanical. We're so much more than that. But the body needs to be loved and cared for. And then there's a sense of well-being and comfort that comes with that. And this, the mind. What are you feeding the mind? Opportunities to be inspired, opportunities to be enlivened, opportunities to be creative and give our attention and our mental energies to that which is uplifting, empowering, supportive, enlivening. That enthusiasm is our channel and our access to the God energy flowing through us. It calls us through our desires to the things that fulfill us and that make us more than we were. So it's very important in the mind to be very intentional about what you're feeding yourself and to choose to give your energy to what it is that you want to be seeing and creating on the planet. Again, life is like a buffet, and there's a lot of things on the buffet maybe that you don't like, but there's no point in standing in front of the dish that you don't like and screaming no at it. Far more important to give your energy to appreciating the variety that's out there, knowing that that dish is not what you want, but it may be exactly what somebody else is needing, and that you can let it go. You could focus on the parts that serve you. Because by giving our energy to those things that we're drawn to, we're building greater life force energy opportunity for this expansion energy. So just leave that with you to percolate on. The heart, this idea of being practical, of being proactive, of being reasonable, of being grounded, getting things done, not being stuck in radical emotional swings, just staying in the moment, staying right here now, staying present, and being masterful, and being the boss here, not being dominated. So in the realm of the heart, this is very much about staying grounded, loving and kind, but not being overly dramatic or emotional, but being very practical. And when we do feel emotional, as I said, I recommend the work of Byron Katie. She has some excellent questions, or part of a process she calls the work. And it just helps us to untease what it is that's triggering us. If we have strong emotional reaction to things, we can help to break it down a little bit and soften it so that we can be more at ease, reduce the inflammation in our body that the stress of these stressful thoughts cause, and be more practical and resilient and empowered in our engagement with life. So it's this practical thing. So again, Byron Katie, I'll put a link in the description underneath for those who are not familiar with her work. And then out comes Spirit. This is the fourth card. Body, mind, heart, spirit. And we have the world. Understanding the importance of the unique role that we all play in creating the world, the future that we want to see happen. Dream large. Follow the callings of your heart, the imaginings, the inspirations that bring you to joy, that bring you to love, that bring you to life, that inspire you, fill you with enthusiasm. Those are the qualities that we're looking for here on the level of the heart. And stay in this beautiful, clear place. Bring this energy into your body. Bring it all here now into your body. Be this multidimensional being here now with intention. Understanding that we are the powerful co-creators of this life. And at this time, we really need to stay grounded and happy in our bodies, inspiring ourselves with the right kind of mental stimulation and connection, grounded in our hearts, practical, non-reactive, kind, and recognizing, reaffirming, and being aware that we are all one. We are unique expressions of the one energy, and that we are collectively, individually and collectively, co-creating life as we know it. So what do we want to create? Pay attention to where your mind is going. What are you distracted by? Give it towards the things that are inspiring. So, this is the reading for the winter solstice. The information, the energy that we're needing to be aware of going forward for this next season. I am so appreciative that we have these awarenesses and these tools, and that we can leverage them for the greater good. As I said, there's a lot of energy on this planet that's conflictive, divisive. How do we transcend the division? How do we stay peaceful and centered and kind? Because when we fight each other or we resist each other, we're not transcending. Again, every voice is needed at the table. That way we can find the best solutions. So, I could say so much more. But I don't want this to be too long, and I want you all to have a beautiful, beautiful winter season. Creator, this is your daughter Titania. The reading is at an end. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be of service and to present this helpful information. I ask that you be with us as we go forward into the next season, as the light returns to the planet. Be with us and remind us constantly that we are you in human form, magically, beautifully co-creating this wonderful life, and that we can consciously give our energy and our attention to what it is that we want to generate collectively for a beautiful future together. We have wonderful people working on wonderful solutions, and we need to support them by our enthusiasm, by our inspiration, by our excitement. Help us to stay grounded in our hearts, diligent and intentional on staying focused on what enlivens us with our mind. Take care of us. Help us to take care of our bodies in a good way, to nourish them and support them into their best and most radiant expression of health and well-being. And stay with us, reminding us always that we are you, dancing in life, co-creating with life, in joy and celebration, and that these positive, radiant, life force energies are what will shift our collective out of the holes that are there to trip us up and into the light. Happy, happy return of the light to each and every one of you. I'm so grateful for you. I'm grateful for your intentional choices. I'm grateful for you living from your heart, learning to listen in, learning to meditate, learning to take care of yourself in a bigger way. And I'm so grateful for your part that you play on the planet at this time in raising our collective vibration to something greater than it has ever been. These are exciting times. The light is returning. We have got this. Stay grounded, stay present, stay kind, stay loving. Keep holding the vision that we are all one. Thank you to all those who helped hold the space. The reading is at an end, and so it is. And I would just like to say maybe homework for the coming while. Be mindful about what you're putting out into the world. And it's easy to get hooked on the negative, but I encourage you to share what inspires you. And perhaps what is it about something that you're sharing that inspires you? Because sometimes what inspires me is not what inspires somebody else. And if I can clarify the parts that are inspiring to me, it may help another to have a greater perspective on what that could be. So in your social media, maybe focus on the things that inspire you and maybe share why they inspire you from that perspective. Nobody can make you wrong for being inspired. Well, I guess they could try, but really, ultimately, it's up to you to just be inspired and to live it. And so if you feel comfortable doing that, by all means, share what inspires you. I would love to see what inspires you. And, if it's maybe feels too vulnerable, that's okay, but continue to be inspired in your own life and in your own experience. Okay, I'm going to let you guys go now. I love you. Take good care of yourselves. Happy return of the light. Happy winter solstice, and I'll see you on Friday for the weekly reading. Much love.